Hey folks, it's Dag, and we're going to actually do a old school vintage build video. And the reason I'm doing this, folks, is I've had a lot of my followers and fans reach out and say, I wish you could, show me your techniques and all the different ways that I learned to design aircraft and that when I built aircraft. And if you're one of my longtime followers, I love to design. I haven't built a kit like this probably since the 90s. And just so you know, this kit originally, I think, started in 1967. But I worked for a hobby store from about 87 to probably 90 or 91 part-time just to help out. It was only a weekend gig. But these two kits, I think, came from that hobby store. So a friend of mine, 10 years ago, I was getting rid of a bunch of old planes that I had in storage. And he wanted them, so I gave them to him. And he said, I've got a couple of the old Midwest Pitts kits still in the box if you want them. So he gave them to me. So I've had these at least 10 years now. But I think these are from 90 or 91 when these kits were actually made. But what I want to do with this video series, folks, and this is just the introduction right now, okay? But this video series is going to take you through all the different steps that are on these plans. So, folks, these types of kits in the 80s and 90s didn't come with like an instruction manual, or well, most of them didn't. Okay. But some did, but the Midwest had the instructions on the drawings. So, and those instructions are normally like A, B, C, D, and such. But the thing is that each video I make is going to be on one of those steps. And I'm going to share with you the techniques and stuff. So, when we look at this right here, this step A, basically this is going to be probably a 4 or 5, maybe a 10-minute video, depending on how much I put into it. Okay, I don't know yet because I haven't done those. But each one of these steps are going to be a video. And one of the things a lot of my followers have asked me is, could I show more techniques that I use when I build kits or build my scratch built airplanes? So I'm going to really dive in deep, folks, and sharing with you why I use the type of glues I use, why in the world I 3D printed my own sanding block, and, some of the different things, tools I make to help me build airplanes. And I think this is going to be the perfect example because, it's a balsa and ply airplane with some metal cabanes and other things that hold the top wing on. But I think overall, folks, this is going to be just a super blast to do. I really think this is going to be a blast. Now, people might be saying, well, wait a minute, Damon, what about the air bike? And what about, all the other projects you're working on? Folks, as I've mentioned in my update videos, I'm basically out of money. I already own this kit. I already own the covering, I own the motors, the ESCs, the battery. I own everything to build this. I don't have to spend a dime right now on anything. So I'm trying to do things on the cheap right now, but I think this is going to be an awful lot of fun, awful lot of fun. So one thing, folks, though, I want you to think about when we build this is how I learned to build the giant airplanes I fly. Okay. And there's not that many kits around. Everything's foamy ARVs. So I think there's a lot of craftsmanship that we've lost over the years that hopefully I'll be able to share with you when we build this, because this is going to be like, I'm going to build this exactly or as close as exact as to the plans that I can do. Okay. Which means the servos are going to go in a little wonky compared to the way we put servos in nowadays. I'm going to try to build this exactly per the plans. And we'll see what we get. What happens when we do this. Now, it is going to be electric, which means I do have to, mess around a little bit with the front of the fuselage on how to get a battery in and out of this. This was designed for a Glow 40 to 60 size engine. The all-up weight of the plane was supposed to be about 7 pounds. It's a 48-inch wingspan. But no, I'm just really, really super stoked, folks, to do this. And I'm probably going to work on it a little bit each night for a half hour or so, and hopefully I'll have at least a video or two per week. But no, I'm just super excited to do a traditional, vintage, old-style build and share it all with you. Now, one of the things that I will talk about in this is there's a lot of plywood in this plane as I went through it. And on electric airplanes, I normally take almost all the plywood out. So I am going to build this exactly as if I was going to put a 40 or 60 size Glow engine in it. But I think it's probably going to weigh about I don't know, maybe a quarter pound more than it should if I was going to really build this as an electric airplane. So as you follow along, understand I'm going to try to build it exactly to the plans and specs. I know there's going to be people who say, well, look, if this is electric, you know, why do you have so much plywood in it? Folks, I'm just going to build it to plan and specs. So another thing I want to kind of get everybody thinking about when we do this, you know, how do I say this? The techniques that I use on my giant airplanes, you know, my 188-inch MSL2, 197-inch MSL1, all the techniques that I use in these airplanes came from me learning how to do these back in the day. Okay. Now, I'm also going to dive in deep to all the materials you need to build this. And I'm going to dive into what you're looking at later on. But, you know, there's T-pins, X-Acto knives, straight edge, different glues I like, my little miniature sandbags to hold things down. On the top left corner there are little blocks that you would traditionally make out of balsa wood. And these are 3D printed with styrofoam sleeves into it so you can stick pins into it. And I'll explain all of that later on. But folks, I think this is going to be an absolute blast. So this is just the introduction to the project video. We're not talking about we're not building anything yet. I haven't built a single thing yet. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully, you'll learn a lot from this, because I'm going to really, have a lot of fun building a traditional vintage wooden kit. Its roots started in the 60s, but I think this kit was made around 90 or 91. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.